Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We have passed $10,000 Bitcoin.
Woo.
I heard some people say we are officially on the moon. Next stop is Mars. Holy crap. I hope so. I hope we keep going. I don't care where the moon is. I hope we keep going. I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with
Tim Baker.
Tim Baker. This is the You, Me, and BTC podcast, episode number 206. I believe Zack Voell will be joining us momentarily. I certainly hope so, because we're covering his stuff tonight. He posted about the top 5 dumbest things that you could say about Bitcoin, and we're going to get into that a lot tonight. We're also going to cover Coinbase and some of the hardcore BS that they got into and their users got into with the IRS. That is all coming up. First of all, I'm going to give another shout out to the sponsor who is making our 2 episodes per week possible. That is America's Card Room. They gave us a code BTC100 so that you can jump in on one of the best poker sites on the planet and deposit and withdrawal with crypto. That's right. Over 60 different cryptocurrencies will get you into the site and playing poker. The site, you could get there through you, me, and btc.com/poker. And the code again, BTC100, will get you up to 100% bonus up to $1,000. Zach, how's it going tonight? Thanks for joining us.
Good. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, you know, that's
Zach, I didn't want to just listen to him.
So, hey, guys, I had a fun idea tonight. Before we get into Zach's countdown list of the dumbest Bitcoin stuff people say, I want to call Free Talk Live. We've done this before on the air, and I figured tonight would be a fun night to try for a couple reasons. You know, we're over $10,000. That's, you know, always a reason to celebrate and do something different. But they also, they're in a Bitcoin shop up in New Hampshire, streaming radio as we speak. So we're going to call in and join them, and we're going to mention Coinbase to them and see if they have any thoughts. So here's how it's going to go down. This is one of the more complicated audio setups I've had in a while. I got to try not to screw this up because we got to do the Free Talk Live on Skype, and then got to get my commercial running later on and make sure that doesn't screw up. But whatever, we'll get there. Tim and Zach are not going to be able to, well, they'll be able to talk and you'll be able to hear them, but the Free Talk Live will not be able to hear them, simply for the sake of not having like 19 people on the radio at once. So if they have anything to say,
will we be able to hear Free Talk?
Yeah, exactly. So you'll be able to hear them and me. Exactly. Well, actually, try not to talk over him too much so that our listeners can hear both the radio and you guys. But Tim and Zach, just drop me a chat in the Hangout, and I'll make sure to get that in. So I'm going to click the call button, and we're probably going to be on hold for a minute or 2 or 3, or I don't even know how long, of our own conversation. They take us off of hold, audio on, so that Tim and Zach and you all can hear them. Cue the STFU. And let us take it away. You might even mute yourselves just to avoid the ducking and cutting out different audio. Voices from Free Talk Live itself. I'm going to call them, and then we'll still have our conversation going while we're on hold. So give me just a sec. Call Skype. Hopefully we get an answer here. Thanks for joining us, everyone, by the way. I'm just hoping for the best here.
Hey, guys. I'll mute myself now.
No, Tim, not yet, because we're still on.
Okay, not yet.
You're waiting for voices from Free Talk Live.
Okay, before I forget or anything, this won't ruin the rest of the article or whatever, but I was looking at Zach's thing, and I was looking at the Facebook, and one girl says, "Is it dumb to say I learned what Bitcoin is from Grey's Anatomy?" And that's a resounding yes.
Wait,
don't. Yeah.
Say that again.
She said sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Is it dumb to say I learned about what Bitcoin is from Grey's Anatomy? Like, were the doctors like fucking each other, and then they were gonna like maybe get in a relationship, and then the one guy was like, "No, bitch, I have Bitcoin. I don't need you."
No, they're
Somebody
probably
please tell me. Yeah.
they're late. They're working late at the ER. Oh shit! I forgot my wallet. You have any Bitcoin?
Oh damn it!
I-
But there was that
I'm not.
there was that Big Bang Theory episode tonight where a lot of other people learned about Bitcoin. So I told her
Oh yeah,
I told
forgot
her
about
no,
that.
it wasn't dumb, but between you and me and all of our listeners, it probably was dumb.
Oh, a bunch of jumping on it when it's mainstream. I was here with Bitcoin when it was like 50 cents. Fuck you guys.
You saying Big Bang Theory was dumb? Probably dumb.
Well, no, Big Bang Theory is
from the reactions on Twitter, it was kind of dumb. It wasn't funny or like anything special.
Got it. Hey guys, while we're waiting here, first they have to answer, and then we'll be on hold. I don't know. Maybe Daryl's running the show tonight, so I think he listens. What up, Daryl? But hey, I want to give a shout out to our chat box and our landing page. It's you, me, and btc.com/live. We already got NY Cartoons, Tim Baker in the chat, whatever kind of douche that is. All right.
Dumb name that is.
And Flapping Plemis. What up, dude? Hello,
Crash any
brethren,
bikes
he
lately?
says. Yeah, crash any dirt bikes lately? Good question. So I'm just going to keep calling them till they answer. But so if you want to get in the chat, if you have any questions for Free Talk Live, now is your chance. You, me, and btc.com/live. We also have show notes and all the links to the, Zach's Facebook post and all the stuff we're going to cover tonight. And our poll is there too. The poll is kind of what's the dumbest thing out of Zach's options? What's the dumbest thing that people say about Bitcoin? And
there's lots of dumb things they say.
Well, that's true. I was just going to mention that a Twitter poll only allows 4 options. So and Zach gave me 5. So the only way I could decide which one to exclude was to skip the one that couldn't fit in a Twitter answer anyway. It was too long to fit as a poll result anyway. So
and probably undoubtedly the most dumb.
Wait, which one? So, I skipped the dumbest one. Darn it!
Yeah.
Which one was it? Go ahead and hit me. Just tell me.
It's I like blockchain, but not Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because we can talk about it when we get into it. But people actually, it blows my mind that people still say that. And when I posted this on Twitter or on Facebook, I thought it would sort of go ignore, just like everyone be like, "Oh, he's just crazy Bitcoin weirdo. I'm not going to even engage this." But people still argue, "Oh yeah, I like Bitcoin or I like blockchain. I'm just not a huge fan of Bitcoin." Like, what do you mean? What does that mean? And then there's this guy just tweeted this article from Bloomberg today, and he said, "Oh, it's 2014 all over again," because the headline was, "Bitcoin is a massive bubble, but blockchain is a great investment," or something. Like that's from today. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
People don't learn.
So I'll go ahead and read the poll answers just for kicks and encourage people to go and vote, which is same page, you, me, and btc.com/live at the bottom. The question is, or the possible answers are for the dumbest things people say about Bitcoin. Number 1, well, actually number 5, because Zach counted down. Criminals love Bitcoin. Definitely something people say, something we've talked about before, and we'll talk about more tonight. Option number 4, Bitcoin is useless. Some people say that, definitely. Option number 3, Bitcoin is a bubble. What about Bcash? Oh, speaking of Bcash, guys, and Tim even mentioned this in his monologue the other day. Holy crap, Roger, calm down.
Yeah, you need to lay off the coke a little bit.
I know. And then
I'm assuming most of our listeners, saw that or saw the image on Twitter or whatever. But if you didn't, he was in a chat with another Bitcoiner and a debate. It was a pretty heavy debate. They were both kind of snapping at each other. Just went kind of crazy and said, "You know what? I don't have to listen to you. I don't call me names. I'm not Bcash. I don't want to be called Bcash. Mom, Cash. Oh my gosh." So
Mom, Bitcoin's picking on me again.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Well, hey, let's just start on some of this Coinbase stuff. Anyone want to give us a rundown of what happened there to your knowledge? Go for it.
Yeah. So I actually was at work when a friend sent me a screen grab of Zero Hedge, which is like this. I don't know. Maybe you guys are familiar with Zero Hedge. Just like this blog of a bunch of finance people that do a whole bunch of different things, and they tweet news.
Real quick, I gotta say, I have never understood their Twitter picture. It's
Me
just
neither.
Like some shirtless guy.
Yeah, just like a very tan, oiled, muscular
What's wrong with that? That's my Twitter profile.
Tim's real into that. And so they tweeted in all caps, IRS loses bid to block John Doe summons from, or Coinbase loses bid to block IRS John Doe summons or whatever. And that was it. And I was just like, that can't be real. That's fake. And so I actually messaged some of you guys and was like, did you guys hear this news? Because I had heard nothing about it. And it was, in my opinion, so other articles started coming out. In my opinion, saying they lost is pretty much false, but at least an exaggeration. So Coinbase was trying to get the bid, the John Doe summons, which is essentially a request for just a broad sweep of data that is becoming more and more popular, or courts are allowing it, granting them more and more.
Right.
Because something like a couple hundred people in the US paid taxes on their Bitcoins last year, when obviously more than a couple hundred people own Bitcoins. And the Coinbase, in my opinion, didn't lose. So they were trying to get the summons blocked completely, and they didn't get it blocked completely. So in that strict sense, they lost. But should I forget her name? Someone tweeted out this article with the headline, Coinbase reduces scope of IRS summons by 97%. Now, I don't know if that percentage is just to prove a point or an actually statistically derived percentage, but essentially the only thing the IRS is allowed to get from Coinbase is the names, birth dates, and addresses of their users, which is not what the IRS wanted. So I don't know if Brian Armstrong and the rest of Coinbase thinks they lost, but I know the IRS probably definitely doesn't think they won. And so in that sense, I think the idea that people, at least the initial reaction that I saw from Zero Hedge, for example, that Coinbase lost is wrong. But that's essentially what happened, and my opinions on it. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it was a little bit of both. I mean, the way that Coinbase put it in their blog post was, Coinbase obtains partial victory over IRS.
Oh, yeah. I actually didn't see Coinbase's statement, but okay.
Yeah. So again, for anyone, we have links on our landing page. If you're listening to this later, because /live always goes to our latest episode, our latest live episode. But if you're listening in the future and you want to find this kind of article, this kind of link, it's me and btc.com/E206. And you can click through to it. But yeah, so Coinbase said it was a partial victory. Was the only way in which it was a partial victory was that, well, there's a couple things. First of all, they're only going to turn over records for people that traded over $20,000 worth of Bitcoin in a given year. And I say traded, but the possibilities are buying over $20,000, selling over $20,000, sending over $20,000, or receiving over $20,000. And any one of those things that went over $20,000 in a year will trigger your records to go to the IRS, as far as I understand it. I believe the years are 2013, 14, and 15, I believe. So that's what's going to get your records turned over to them. They also, the partial victory comes because they don't have to turn over every little bit of the records that IRS first asked for. Now I need to pull this up because it's pretty important which ones they're turning over and which ones they're not turning over. So I wish I had thought of this earlier, but I'm trying to pull up the official court order right now. So this is the conclusion of the official court order. And I'll go ahead and toss out that this is from, I'll go ahead and name drop here, Jacqueline Scott Corley, I believe, Corley. So thanks a lot, Jackie. You screwed some people over hardcore. But yeah, so here's the conclusion. For the reasons described above, the court grants in part and denies in part the government's petition to enforce the IRS summons. Coinbase is ordered, in all caps, to produce the following documents for accounts with at least the equivalent of $20,000 in any one transaction type, buy, sell, send, or receive in any 1 year during the 2013 to 2015 period. And then there's a list of the items. Number 1, the taxpayer ID number. Number 2, the name. Number 3, the birth date. Some sort of typo. There's 2 number 3s here, but whatever. Second number 3, the address. Number 4, records of account activity, including transaction logs or other records identifying the date, amount, and type of transaction, purchase, sale, or exchange. The post-transaction balance and the names of counterparties to the transaction. And number 5, all periodic statements of account or invoices or the equivalent. So there you have it. That's what they're required to turn over. They are not required to turn over, I don't know if I'm going to find it quick enough. This is a technical legal document, but they're not required to turn over stuff like all the Bitcoin addresses that people had used, driver's licenses or passports. So there's a little bit that they're not required to turn over. So back to you guys. What do you think? Is this a win or a loss? Where's it going to end up? Is it going to go through with all this turning it over to the IRS, and then what will happen? I'm looking for some thoughts here. What do you think? Are people screwed?
Yeah, probably.
No, well, no. Yeah, probably. Y'all are effed. I don't think so for 2 reasons. I think, one, it's a huge win beyond just Coinbase, because the IRS essentially wanted to say, we can't track this as well as we can track digital fiat money, which obviously is different from cryptographic money. And so you need to give us every bit of information you possibly can so that we can make sure we get our nominally fair share. And the court essentially, at least in my opinion, more or less said, which this may be a mischaracterization, but they're like, no, like the court opinion actually, you pointed this out, Dan, it said the court is not persuaded. Essentially, essentially, sit down, please. This is dumb.
Yeah, that was some of my favorite legal jargon. Let me see if I can find one real quick.
The court is not persuaded. Now, it would be incredibly hard to persuade the court that you can't even let the IRS know who is transmitting something of value, like even their name, address, that sort of thing. Like, that's common information that they already have. And so if they want to connect it to the fact that you own a particular asset, that's totally reasonable and very difficult to sort of conjure up a justification for why they shouldn't be able to have that information. I think it's a huge win. But secondly, Coinbase is giving everyone who is affected by this a notice so that they can prepare. And because even though ignorance is no excuse, tons of people still have no idea. They probably have no idea there was even this lawsuit going on, likely, at least some people. And plenty of people still have no idea how to file taxes. And so the Coinbase is sending out notices to every one of their users who is affected, which is also great. I haven't gotten one because I'm not affected, but maybe they link to resources or something in it. That would be ideal. That can help them explain how to file taxes. I don't know. I don't think they're screwed, though. I think it's as good of an outcome as Coinbase could have reasonably expected. I don't know.
Yeah,
do you agree?
That's fair enough. I mean, the government's going to get what the government wants, and so the fact that Coinbase even fought it. I read that somewhere. I don't know if it was in the blog post or where, but yeah, somewhere it said like, oh, like what was it? Like the government just isn't used to people fighting this kind of summons. They're used to just getting what they want. But Coinbase went after them anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Reduced summons.
And Coinbase is like this. They've always been this huge like follow regulation, and that's good for Bitcoin. Like following the law is good for Bitcoin kind of mantra. Like that's their whole deal. But they fought this hard, which yeah, that's true. I guess that is kind of surprising. But overall, not a bad. I don't think it's a bad outcome at all. Like if the IRS wants to know that Zack Voell bought a Bitcoin in 2015, I couldn't care less. Like I don't care. If when I sell it, I'll be sure to send him a text or something.
So just so you know, I decided to call the regular phone since they weren't answering Skype. I had to buy Skype credit because I don't know if they don't have Skype running or whatever, but so now I have Skype credit apparently, and I called their real phone, and we'll see if we ever get on. Just keep listening for those voices.
You see, guys, this is what Daniel does for you. He throws away his money onto Skype because he has too much from Bitcoin, but he's doing it for you guys now.
Well, that's not a lie. Everything is for you guys. That's the whole show. I mean, so if you want to support us, you can always, tweet us or give us a donation. There's an address at the bottom of the show notes or whatever. We'll take any form of support we can get, even a share button, a thumbs up. It all means the world to us, and when helps us out. So, all right, you guys got to chat. I got to listen.
Okay, Daniel has to pay attention. Zach.
Okay, well, I can talk about the one smart thing that I had on my list. So the list was 5 dumb things and one smart one debatably smart thing that I said you could say. And I thought it would go ignored. I just posted it because I'm tired of. I have one friend. He bought a little bit of Bitcoin when it dipped to like just below 5,000, which was like, I don't know, what time is it? An hour ago or something. But all these people now think they have like the hottest takes and know everything that's good and which way's up. And so I just posted this because these were things everyone was saying up until I posted it still. The one smart thing is that Bitcoin isn't money. I don't know. Do you agree, Tim? I don't think Bitcoin is completely money. It earns that status completely.
I'd say it's money, but I can see how you can make the argument that
oh, true.
It's not like, because I mean you can say, well, it's not money, it's a transfer, blah 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 blah. So you can make it as something else. But I go to more the side of it's many different things. If it's fully money, if it's fully whatever, that still means that it is each one of those things. But I mean, those are better than any of the rest ones you put on there, or the rest of these people on here who are just coming up with things that have been around for like 5 years.
I know. Did you read all these comments?
Yeah, I've been reading most of them. The guy's like, well, maybe it's not like dumb because like criminals don't love Bitcoin, but it's definitely the one they used. The one guy, we have to get into this at some point. This one guy was like, well, maybe criminals don't love Bitcoin, but a lot of Bitcoins went to criminals last year. That's like, that's wrong. That's dumb on so many levels. First, he's like, there's nothing like that for cash. Oh, really? Because cash is an infinitely increasing supply of paper money, whereas there's only so many Bitcoins. And so he was comparing percentages for euros, and the amount of euros that goes to cash as a percentage of all euros automatically decreases. Whereas you have 21 million Bitcoins, and if, whatever he said, a couple 100,000 are used for ransomware, then there's a fixed number. And so the percentage is much more likely to be high. Plus the fact that one type of crime, ransomware, is uniquely suited to probably prefer digital money over cash, which I'm not arguing against digital dollars. I'm arguing against cash and crypto. It's just
it's so dumb. I don't know. Yeah, it's so dumb. Like it's not even worth responding to. But yeah, I don't know. Dan, do you think criminals love Bitcoin?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they
make
love
the point that it's like it's technically true if one criminal loves Bitcoin.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess you're on Facebook, so the whole thing is about words, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like, you're actually gonna get like I understand there's so many goddamn things that you can say, but someone who's thinking and goes, oh wait, maybe this won't actually like move any kind of discussion forward. And I get
Yeah.
that like we kind of go against this because I just talk on this thing most of the time, and it's not I just get in Daniel's way and all this different shit. So I'm exempt. I can blather on, but the rest of you people on Facebook who it's just like these like just nothing. You're saying something, but it's like, why did you even take the time to do this? What did it seem like a good idea to you? And this is, I think I just talked in the episode about people doing more things. Now I'm telling them all not to, but whatever. I don't know. A tamper transfer has inherent value. Just okay, never mind. That guy's defending it. One is not at all dumb. I like blockchain, just not Bitcoin. I can't remember exactly what you guys said about that, but that's just dumb too because
he was saying like, oh yeah, I can love blockchain and not Bitcoin because you can store houses and land titles and cars and other assets on blockchain. You don't need Bitcoin. And I was just like, all right, clearly now you have no idea what you're talking about. I told him, well, the way I explained it, maybe Dan and Tim, you guys can clarify, but the way I broke it down for him is he was harping on the security of the blockchain and all of that. They'll store assets. And I said, yeah, the security of a blockchain, you can store any digital asset in a blockchain or use a blockchain to represent it digitally, any sort of physical asset. And the security incentivizes users to participate, but it doesn't incentivize at all people to maintain it, like node operators to maintain the network, which is what gives it the security. You can't subdivide cars or issue fractions of a land deed to incentivize these node operators to maintain the network. There has to be some other reward for that work. And lo and behold, that reward is a token for the blockchain, which the best blockchain in existence so far is the Bitcoin blockchain. And you have Bitcoin. They're like, there's no way around it. And I think at first that was actually my favorite comment thread because he was actually reasonable. You could sort of read in his comments, he was wrestling with it and realized some of the things he was saying was dumb, whereas everyone else was just doubling down. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're on a commercial now, so it's a little bit.
I was going to say, I think Tim, it's just you and me. Dan is.
Yeah, no, Daniel's off. I was going to add something to your list, but if go, Daniel.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, for whatever reason, the volume's a little low, so like it's hard for me to listen to you guys and listen to them and and try to listen till like we're actually on the air. If they're even gonna get there, I have no idea what's going on. Maybe they're not doing calls because they're on location or something. Whatever.
Somebody else calling them too and tell them to answer Daniel. He feels bad.
Yeah, I tweeted Daryl. I was like, "Can you please answer?" But hey, seriously, guys, I don't want to let you down. So if it doesn't work out this week, we'll try again next week or something and see what we can do.
Everybody in the chat feels let down.
Well, yeah, let's do it while they're on commercial and I can focus. I want to scroll through the chat a little bit. We have Flapping Plemis. They're also talking about Free Talk Live. He says that he loves Free Talk Live, and so that's great. I enjoy them too. It's such a long and broad show that, sometimes you can get awesome conversations and sometimes you can get long and boring conversations or stupid callers or interesting callers or whatever. Stupid callers like us about to call in or something. But yeah, in general,
we'll be their best callers. I've heard their other callers.
I definitely love the show. I listen to it, several nights a week, and sure, I love it. So he also says they like Bitcoin Cash, apparently, which is kind of true. They are good friends with Roger Ver. But we won't try to get into a debate with them about that tonight. We don't need any more flaring tempers. We already got plenty
debate.
of those.
We're just gonna trash him. Just, as soon as they pick up, just be like, "Fuck Roger Ver, bye." What did he say?
We got NY Cartoons saying people still bring up Silk Road. It drives me nuts. I don't know if he's referring to criminals there. That point you guys were just making about criminals.
Dude, like Bitcoin gets used on the Silk Road, man. Like that's like bad shit. Like,
Everyone knows.
Bring that up. At least do child porn or something that's actually fucked up. Not some dude who got double life for just facilitating people selling drugs.
It's true though. This guy, he's a friend, Daniel Hansen. He commented. I can't find it. There's like 100 comments here, but he said something like, maybe one day Bitcoin will shed the image of being a tool for crime. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is 2017. This is not December 2010 or something. I mean, which is even before I ever heard about Bitcoin. Actually, the other day I was wondering what I was doing in December.
They're back on the air, so it's just you two again. I got to listen.
All right, Daniel's gone again. Let me add something to this list of the top.
Oh yeah, I want
things to say.
Yeah, I want
to
know what your list is. Or what you add.
Fucking tired of hearing John McAfee tell me he's going to eat his dick if Bitcoin goes. I don't like, even if like you're not going to do that because you went to an island and paid girls to shit on your face. You're not getting rid of your dick. Like that's what you love. So, but then also, I don't want to see you eat your dick, man. Like I don't. Why?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of screaming now, but yeah.
No, I agree.
I don't care. Cool, eat your dick. If you really want to do it, just do it whenever Bitcoin drops. So then the rest of us have something to do and watch and be funny and make us feel better when Bitcoin's $2. If it drops to 0, you have to eat your dick.
Yeah, I agree. If that's what he wants to do, if it doesn't reach $1 million a coin, he probably wants to do it anyway. So hey, McAfee, what's stopping you, bro? It's a free country. Mostly, just go for it.
No, I swear, guys, I'll definitely do it. I'll definitely do it. I'll
do it. I'll do it.
Go ahead, do it, man. I don't care.
Yeah,
you're kind of freaking me out now with how much you're talking about wanting to do it.
Well, first it was 500,000, and then today doubled down was like, yeah, fuck it, 1 million. It was like, okay, now you just want to do it, like.
Now you're just trying, man. I need to turn that down. I'm like, sending this fucking mic relay into the red every single time I talk. Anybody else chat since Daniel went?
You guys just keep going down the list.
Okay.
Don't talk to us. We got this.
Don't talk to do.
You're not even listening. You're not even listening. You're trying to take up the rest of the show with another show. Don't talk to us about how to do a show.
So the next one on the list technically is Bitcoin is useless. I don't really hear a lot of people say this, which I put it on the list because Joseph Stiglitz, the Nobel laureate who loved Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, said this in an interview. He said Bitcoin serves no socially useful purpose.
No, but Hugo Chavez and his death, shooting people who do not proceed to your knowledge, that's useful for society.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I tweeted a joke about it, but no one on Twitter thought it was funny. Hugo Chavez created his own virtual currency to sort of exclude the dollar for like all these, at the time, shitty Latin American economies called the sucre. So I think Stiglitz is just like missing that, his communist bros digital currency, and hates Bitcoin for trying to one up him. I don't know, but I don't know anybody that really seriously says this except for the Hugo Chavez loving Nobel Prize winner.
It's the guy. It's very obviously not like a statement like that is so blatantly retarded that only someone who thinks that Hugo Chavez is a cool dude would say something like that. But then these are the people we give Nobel Prizes to because he was fighting for the people. Because we're like, oh, well, he said he was fighting for the people. Okay, well, what did he actually do? What actually happened? Well, I mean, and then you'll have people online like defending North Korea and like the people inside of it. And I get like we bitch about the U.S. doing shit too, but don't go and be like, well, I mean, in North Korea, they have it so well. They have a certain amount of time off whenever they have babies. Isn't the U.S. evil to women? And then also they let them smoke marijuana too all the time. Oh, maybe that's why I don't give a shit about being excluded from the rest of the world, is because they're stoned all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
But we have
yeah,
to.
no, that's why it was. That's why it was at the bottom of the list, only above criminals love Bitcoin, because I think that's even more stupid. But yeah, but then everyone went nuts over Bitcoin is overvalued or a bubble.
So I'm giving up. I'm done. I don't know what. I
Yay.
guess they're just not taking calls tonight.
Okay.
What did I miss?
Well, we got through criminals love Bitcoin and Bitcoin is useless, and now the third one from the top or from the bottom is Bitcoin is overvalued, and that's the one that pushed everybody's buttons.
Wait, yeah, how did? Oh, it's in a bubble. Yeah, that's the third option in this poll. So yeah, let's, especially with this soaring high price, let's talk about that momentarily. First up, though, I got a special treat for you guys. Let me tell you, I'm gonna run our ad one more time. Give another quick, amazing thank you to our sponsor, America's Card Room. You can get there at meandbtc.com/poker if you want to try it out. They accept crypto. You can gamble. So we'll be right back. I'll ask Tim and Zach to mute themselves, and then we'll get into Bitcoin bubbles.
Get ready for crypto overload. We're making it easy to get into the game at America's Card Room with your favorite cryptocurrency. We are thrilled to announce that you can deposit and cash out using more than 60 different cryptocurrencies. We are the first poker site to offer this after already accepting Bitcoin from the beginning. Cryptocurrencies are the future. We can predict that playing real money poker will never be easier at americascardroom.com.
All right, another thank you. That's meandbtc.com/poker. So yeah, Zach, is Bitcoin in a bubble? Hit me.
Well, yes and no. Like, that's what I was telling people. You can't just say Bitcoin's a bubble, but it's also, in my opinion, not fair to say it's not a bubble. It just depends on what you mean, which is exactly what we saw yesterday while all these morons were arguing with me, that it soared to almost $11,500 and then crashed to like 8,900 or something. So was that a bubble? Yeah, that's a massive crash. But these people are like, oh, well, remember houses and the internet? Bitcoin is just like that. And it's insufferable. They're morons.
It's a buzzword.
Yeah,
a bubble's just a Bitcoin's a bubble. Let me regurgitate something.
They're so lazy. They're just like, oh.
Bubble. Sorry.
One of my favorite statistics, though, I saw it on Reddit, where every good thing on the internet lives, that Bitcoin crashes by like 40, on average of 40% every quarter. And so I was telling all these guys and girls, like, what the hell kind of bubble is that? Like, what bubble crashes by almost 50% every quarter and then reinflates and then crashes and then reinflates and then all of 2014 just plateaued? Like, it makes no sense.
It's too old of a word probably to describe something like this. But then, yeah, it's the whole thing where it's a buzzword, and then also whether or not the actual word by people who know what they're talking about or people involved actually in finance, whether that has like an actual standard set meaning, that's something I have no idea. But the average person using that just used that, I mean, it went up. So yeah, I mean, you could say whenever. So exactly what you were saying is, yeah, but no, but kind of, but maybe. But like we always say.
Gotta love that YMB answer. I don't know. If you're new around here, we joke all the time that's our answer to everything. Yeah, it could be a bubble, might not be a bubble. I don't know. Really, probably the biggest part of it is it just depends how you define bubble. That's about as simple as it gets. Is a bubble just a high price that was probably going to come down soon, or is a bubble, higher than it ever should be, or is a bubble just I don't know. How do you define a bubble?
Yeah.
If it's the first definition I said, where it's just, well, if it's just high and it'll probably correct, well, then all kinds of stuff are bubbles. Yeah, sure, Bitcoin's in a bubble. It's probably going to correct. Maybe, maybe not, but probably.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know. What do you think, Zach? How would you define a bubble?
I was going to say, well, actually, yeah, we can say this on air. I would think Tim said bubble is outdated, and I agree. So the new YMB terminology that I'm going to humbly suggest we use.
Are we going to call it Tim's ass?
No, it's better than Tim's ass. It actually goes well with.
Nothing's better than my ass, Zach. Shut the fuck up.
Instead of bubbles, because under like how people normally use bubbles, every Bitcoin bubbles all the time, and so saying bubble just doesn't mean anything because that's not what a bubble is. Like a bubble is a steady housing market that just climbs, and that for reasons that are later discovered to be just foundationless, then it collapses. That's a bubble. But Bitcoin bubbles all the time. So instead, we're going to call them Bitcoin erections, where they last for a little while. They sort of just pop up and then they go away. And that happens all the time in Bitcoin. And sometimes it just plateaus and there's nothing there for a while. And occasionally it really does stick around longer than you think, and you should see a doctor. But then it goes away.
Yeah,
but bubbles stupid.
Who has the Cialis? I'm ready to take some and sell all my Bitcoin.
What?
Because it'll drive the price way up.
Yeah, drive that price up. I don't know. So we'll just call them erections now,
Cialis, please.
Not bubbles.
I just want you to get an envelope with just like nothing. You're like, what the fuck? Is this
yeah, because I'm just gonna eat whatever I get in some random envelope.
I did not say that. I was just saying something showing up in an envelope, and if Free Talk Live told you that they'd answer if you did that, you definitely do it.
Let's see what it tastes like.
I mean, man, you just gotta take risks in your life. You gotta say yes to things, or else you're never gonna get anywhere.
All right, Tim, you're up first. Give me all your Bitcoin. Say yes.
Somebody send me Cialis. I will have a boner for 24 hours and not go to the hospital.
All right, I will buy you Cialis if you give me all your Bitcoin.
No.
You say yes to things, Tim.
No,
say yes to
I said say yes to things, not say yes to Daniel. You never say yes to Daniel.
Oh, goodness gracious. NY Cartoon says, if there's a slight crypto bubble, I'm fine with it. And yeah, that's probably how most of us would say too. I mean, so bubble, all right? So it's going to correct. So what? We'll go right back. That's probably our opinion. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. But I think people say bubble as in it'll pop and die and go away and never be a thing anymore. Not just, 4,000 to 11,000 is too quick and it'll subside.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was looking at a stock chart. I don't know which one. Now I'm going to see if I can find it. But actually, you know what it was? It was the cover of the Wall Street Journal. I saw it on Twitter. And it had a stock chart in it, so let me see if I can find it. It was a stock chart where the .com bubble went however high, whatever, it doesn't even matter. The stock market went super high, and then it crashed. The .com bubble, everyone knows what that is. But to this day, it has not recovered.
Well, what did Andreas had some kind of tweet about it, and he was like, yeah, okay, if there's something, there's a bubble, whatever, but, and this is what we've said before, like, there's still the technology under it. Like, it isn't just some random thing that's getting more expensive. Like, because I think somebody tweeted something as saying that you shouldn't compare it to the tulips thing and that whole argument. And then Andreas said, yes, and so what? Even if it does, it's a full bubble. It's still like the internet, like the .com bubble, because it's growing on top of a new technology. It isn't just a share in something that's kind of just growing for no real reason besides market demand.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's different, and you never know. I have no idea why I'm having such a hard time finding this, so apologies. But I was going to give the year and the exact details or whatever. No idea where it all went. But point is, it was a huge bubble, .com, and it hasn't recovered still. So that's a bubble. But I don't know. But at the same time, it will recover, probably in time, just like every market. Most markets long term generally go up. Until I don't know. Maybe that's just dollar inflation. But anyway, I guess we should move on. I can't find this image, and so we got to get through these points. We only got a few minutes. So what's next, Zach? What's the next dumbest thing that people say about Bitcoin?
What about Bitcoin Cash? Maybe we already covered that.
Oh, yeah. What about Bcash?
Yeah, Bcash.
Because
Funny, because when Bcash first became a thing, we were joking like, oh, let's just keep calling it Bcash, see how many people we can trigger. Well, it looks like we succeeded at that.
Yeah.
So why is that dumb?
No one bid on that one. No one argued with that. So I guess.
All right.
Oh, well.
Oh, speaking of bidding or voting in our case, don't forget, guys, we have the poll at youmeandbtc.com/live, or you can just follow us at youmeandbtc, and you'll always see our polls or whatever. But the current vote is the lead is tied for. Actually, it's a three-way tie. Criminals love Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a bubble, and what about Bcash? All of those are tied. So anyway, yeah, get over there and vote, make your voice heard. But yeah, so nobody's arguing about Bcash. Interesting. Wonder how Roger Ver would feel about that. He probably thinks it's dumb. I guess he didn't read your comment, Zach. Otherwise, he would have.
And then the final one is I like the dumbest of my list. Is if we had a drum roll, it would be, you could hear it now. It would be, is I like blockchain, just not Bitcoin.
Yeah. What kind of people say that? I hear it a lot.
Well, the one guy said there, Andrew Min, who is a really smart friend. He's but dumb on this. He said there are two reasons why, number one, the blockchain, not Bitcoin thing is fine to say. One, there are tons of use cases for distributed ledgers beyond currency. Two, Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency and has legitimate technical limitations. So, well, I want to know your thoughts on one, Dan. But two, I granted to him. I just said, yeah, Bitcoin has a lot of problems and a lot of potential problems maybe we don't even know about. But it's head and shoulders above every other cryptocurrency right now. And its problems in the grand scheme of things really aren't that significant. Plus, the internet had lots of problems. And there are ways over them. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point. So number one was, what was the point? Like, there's lots of use cases.
There are tons of use cases. For distributed ledgers beyond just currency.
Okay, so that actually has been on my mind a little bit lately. I've had some conversations with people about Ethereum. And as you may know, if you've been with us for a while, generally what we say about Ethereum is, sure, yeah, the classic YMB answer, sure, yeah, it's okay, but meh.
Yeah,
yeah, like sure, it has some use cases, it has some value, but so far we've never really gotten involved in Ethereum. Now, I've had similar conversations lately where people have asked, does Ethereum have any value? And I've said stuff like, well, here's the thing. There's some people that just rip on Ethereum. They've had smart contract bugs that lose a crap ton of money. A lot of the ICOs that are scams are run on Ethereum. And so some people just rip on Ethereum for that kind of stuff. And, comments like, it's too slow. It's not possible to have a full computer on a blockchain. It's Turing vulnerable to bugs. It's not Turing complete and stuff like that. And that just means Turing complete means it can do anything a computer can do, not just currency transactions, but anything a computer can do. If, then, else, loops, whatever. And yes, Ethereum is Turing complete. And yes, a lot of people rip on it for that and say that is a problem, too many bugs. Now, here's where I come in and say, you know what? Sure. Like, I get that that's a drawback, but I think there are still some use cases. Like, if you make one working smart contract, then it's going to work. I mean, Bitcoin is written in probably mostly C++, but you could write it in any language. And those are Turing complete languages. Bitcoin could have bugs, but they make it simple. They're good programmers. And once it works, it's been tested for whatever, like a decade now, and it works. There could still be bugs, but it seems like it works. And that's the same thing with Ethereum. Just because a smart contract could have bugs doesn't mean you shouldn't make smart contracts. It means you should learn how to make smart contracts right and test them. And, don't blow them up overnight. Just let them sit there for a decade and see if people use them and if they work the whole time. So I don't think it's a fair excuse to say that it's Turing vulnerable. Like, so what? Like, are you saying I'm not supposed to build a house because someone could break into it? No, I learned how to make a secure house with locks and whatnot. So all that to say, I'm kind of gaining a little bit more interest in Ethereum these days. I haven't gone down a big giant rabbit hole, and maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't, but I'm seeing some more value than I used to, or some more potential than I used to. And then all of that to say that, yes, Zach, I am seeing I'm more open than I used to be to just totally off the wall blockchain use cases. Like, oh, let's put ride sharing on the blockchain. Okay, I mean, try it, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna get involved in it tomorrow if you do an ICO or something, but I'm not really opposed to it. Like, sure, give it a shot. Let's decentralize more and see what happens.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying, in order to decentralize it, you have to have some sort of reward for the node operators that maintain the network, and that can't just be sharing rides or a digital house or something like that. You have to have a token that has some value.
A really good point. Yep.
And like that's what makes the blockchain work. It's not just like a server that you can put stuff on. And so in that sense, you can, like, sure, there could probably be a blockchain started at some point in the future, but it will have a token just like Bitcoin is the Bitcoin blockchain token. And likely it'll be traded on secondary markets and that sort of thing. So, like, you're still back to square one either way.
I think, honestly, that's a biblical comment right there, okay? The Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And in the same, almost equivalently, money is the root of anything that's going to happen in the world, in economies, and whatever. So, sure, you want ride sharing on the blockchain, try it. But it's going to have to be rooted in money. That is biblical.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was gonna say, I'm also like not completely dismissive of Ethereum. One of my big complaints is they seem to be much more reckless. Compared to Bitcoin Core in upgrading and adopting changes and that sort of thing, which is not the strategy for a healthy, mature network. And so I think they need to take somebody tweeted when whatever update, I forget the name or exactly what it did, but they updated something and it just went pretty poorly awry. And they're like, see, that's the difference. Ethereum, hey, let's try this new cool thing. Bitcoin Core, all right, everyone slow down. We're not going to implement this for another 12 months or something.
Right, which is an extremely central debate. It's a debate that is, core, no pun intended, core to this entire project. It's core to this entire innovation, this entire effort to change the world. At the root of it is that decision. How are we going to conduct this development? Are we going to be reckless? Are we going to be conservative? Because both of them have risks. If you're conservative and you never make changes, then you're not going to stay ahead. But if you're reckless, you're going to make changes that probably aren't going to work, and they're going to wreck you.
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer. Another classic YMB answer, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But that is such a central debate in this whole freaking shebang. and it's got to be that's what Roger Ver and Error Log were talking about the other day. How are we defining conservatism? Is it more conservative to make no changes to the software, or is it more conservative to have cheap transactions that everyone can use, as Roger Ver would say? And my opinion. I like Bitcoin more than Bcash, but still, it's a tough question. So we got to do advice of the week, guys. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Never.
I'll do another shout out one last time for you, me, and btc.com/live. And here's why. You have a few minutes left to get in your advice of the week. It could be about Coinbase and the IRS screwing people over, or whether or not Coinbase won, or whatever. You could give us advice about the dumbest things that people say about Bitcoin, about bubbles, about Ethereum, about any of that stuff, or whatever you like. Literally anything goes here. If you're new here, that's how it works. At the end of the show, we do advice of the week, and anything goes. It doesn't even have to be about the stuff we talked about. So my advice, I'm already prepared, guys, so I'm giving you another second to think. My advice is just say yes, because that's what Tim said to say, and I listen to everything Tim says. So just say yes to everything. That's my advice for this week.
Right now in this current climate, Daniel.
What'd you say?
I said I wouldn't put that out in this current climate.
That's a good point. I'm getting allegations tomorrow.
Did you? Yes. Did you do? Yes. Have you had sexual relations with? Yes. Would you like to defend yourself? Yes.
All right, guys. What's your advice? Hit me. Yes.
I wish I could.
My advice is next time someone says Bitcoin is a bubble, say, no, it's more like an erection, and just see what they say.
All right, that's a good one. That's a real good one. Don't forget that one. Bitrection.
Yes.
All right, Tim. It's all down to you. Freaking stalling on your friggin' water bottle or whatever.
Free Talk Live. Answer your phones, because this boy is like probably your biggest fan. Besides the crazy people who call you every single day because they like hearing themselves talk.
No, that's a really good point. At least mention at the beginning of each segment if you're not taking calls. That would have helped me out tonight. But whatever.
Come on, bro.
We'll keep that in mind for when we're internationally syndicated. Oh, wait, we already are on satellite radio.
Woo! Best advice, don't interact with people on Facebook. I don't know.
Because they're all stubborn.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say that there's never been a mind change by something on Facebook, but it's very rare.
Yeah, that's what we've mentioned Sovereign Tech a few times. Brian Sovereign, he was saying in his last episode, that that's the way social media is. It's designed to be an echo chamber. You're not really going to have much controversy.
Actually,
even if you do, I mean,
sorry.
Well, you're going to have controversy, but it's not going to be constructive.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, because I tagged one of the guys I love following the most on Twitter is this guy from Lebanon. He's an economics professor, and he's writing this book. And we're friends on Facebook, too, and I tagged him, hey, Saif Dean, can you back me up here? Who say, I love blockchain, not Bitcoin. Liked the comment but didn't say anything, and then messaged me and was like, dude, I don't fuck with that shit on Facebook. It's like more power to you, but I'm out.
All right.
Yeah. Have arguments with people in real life at bars and then get in a fight like you're supposed to.
Yeah, may the best fist win.
Whoever has a dollar, fuck you.
Whoever has a stronger punch clearly is telling the truth.
Talking about Bitcoin at the bar, though, is pain. That's my second piece of advice. Avoid talking about Bitcoin at the bar.
I will get so angry if I hear someone saying, I'll go and I'll punch them. I was here way before you.
I don't start the conversations. I'm sitting there enjoying my freaking beer, and people are like, I bought more Bitcoin today. I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go.
Oh, good job. Good investing advice there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it now and then, in the airport or wherever, like just people talking about it. It's like, yeah, you don't really. I don't think Bitcoin means what you think it means.
Yeah.
You keep using this word.
Duck and cover and yeah.
All right, guys, it's been a blast. This has been You, Me, and BTC. We got some advice from, as far as I can remember, probably a new listener, Francisco Hernandez. First of all, he says Cardano/Stellar for the win. I don't know if that's like an ICO, and we don't generally support ICOs here, but whatever. You know, if Francisco likes it, it's probably gold. So whatever. And he also says, advice. Listen to your instincts. Don't invest more than you're able to afford. Think you have lost all that you have invested. That's a good one. And
that's what I said. Yeah.
Leave it alone and come back a month later. How about a year later? How about 2 years, 10, 5, 15, 20,000 years later? Then see how much money you have. But yeah, I really like the part. Think you've lost it all. I already just tell myself that. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen with Bitcoin. You know, I don't know if I'm going to lose my private keys. I don't know if, you know, I'm going to get taxed to death. It's already gone. Whatever. Like, sure, price is up and we'll try to save some. But if it disappears tomorrow, every day I tell myself, like, as much as that would suck, as much as I'm going to try to avoid it, I just try to condition myself like, hey, you just never know. You just never know. Every day I think about that. So
yeah, there's no downside to it if you consider it lost already. Someone asked me, how do you limit your downside since you bought Bitcoin? I just said, I consider every dollar I exchange for millibits just permanently lost. And that's the best way.
Hey, one more thing. He says, don't invest more than you're able to afford. And we've said that 100 times on the show. Like, be careful. But you also have to remember that investing in the dollar is also an investment that you could lose. Investing in the stock market is also an investment that you could lose, and so on. And the conclusion there, which we've kind of said before on the show, the conclusion is just learn that, you know, okay, so let's say that literally everything is an investment. I got to put my money somewhere in dollars or gold or Bitcoin or whatever. And all of that is an investment, and all of those could disappear tomorrow. And I think in life, regardless of money, regardless of Bitcoin or whatever, I think in life, it's just a healthy attitude to say that, you know what, I could lose it all. And I'm not saying you should strive to be homeless or whatever, but if you ended up homeless and could be content anyway, I think that's a good life skill to have. I don't want you to be homeless. I don't want you to strive to be homeless or any of that. But if you can be content in anything, that's an incredibly good life skill. So I
wouldn't put it like content, because in that we are going way past it. But like, don't just fucking give, like, you can't have this, well, if it drops below this, I'm just going to give up. I'm going to give up on life. I'm going to kill myself, blah, 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 blah. Like, just don't fucking kill yourself. Like, your life is so much better than it has been in the past, like, 100 years. It's so much better. So just live it out, try it for a little bit. Eat food. That's like a great recent thing that we've started finally doing, is actually eating the right amount of food. That's why we're getting taller.
There you go. Straight from Tim's mouth. But yeah, seriously, like, yeah, you know, don't be content. Always, you know, maybe it depends how you define terms. But sure, if you're not content, that's one thing. But learn to be happy with life and move on. I don't know, whatever, however you want to define it. Try to move on. Try to get better. Even if you lose everything, yeah, that's all right. We'll get there. We'll get better. We'll be better tomorrow. So. We also have Zach Bandera in the chat saying, I spent my weed money on Bitcoin in 2015. Now I'm retired and I live. I don't know where it's. He just said, now I'm retired. I was going to add something witty, but I couldn't come up with anything. So that means that's a sign for that the show is over. When I run out of words, the show has to end.
I have a friend who used to work at a bar, and this guy did the same thing. He had duffel bags of cash that he got illegally from, like, selling weed or something. I don't know. I didn't hear specifics. He just dumped it all in Bitcoin, and he can't, like, leave the U.S. or anything. He's just working at a bar and has massive amounts of Bitcoin. So shoot, Guri, or whatever your name is.
All right, guys. We will see you next Thursday live from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. But we also, again, thanks to America's Card Room, you, me, and BTC.com/poker, they are giving us 2 episodes a week. So keep an eye out on Monday. We are back on schedule now after some late episodes last week. Thank you, Francisco. Have a good night. Thanks for jumping in the chat. He said $200 to $400 is a win. Don't be saying, ugh, I missed out because somebody made 10K and I didn't. But you still made money. And that's true. So peace out, guys. We'll see you Monday recorded, and we'll see you live next Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, while you're waiting for more episodes, there's still plenty of fun stuff at you, me, and BTC.com. That's the place to be. And we'll catch you later. Peace out. Dogs.
Bye, guys.